Victor Conte changes his tone on Ryan Garcia's positive test. Look, Victor Conte was launching a campaign explaining how Ryan Garcia tested positive for this banned substance, that banned substance, and he was speaking factually. He was speaking emphatically, like he knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that Ryan Garcia was guilty and, in fact, intentionally cheated. But that's starting to change, not just with Victor Conte, but with the social media world, as well as what the new media is, as we would call it. So Victor Conte tweeted, as you can see recently, it was announced at Ryan Garcia team requested his urine B samples for both April 19th and April 20th be retested. Usually takes 2 to 4 weeks, but up to 6 weeks. Parties and experts involved must agree on a day for the A to Z process to be conducted under observation at Real Devin Haney at VADA testing. So you see, this is neutral. This is just straight reporting, right? But prior to this, he launched about a 6-part series where he practically convicted Devin Haney. Devin Haney went on ESPN and basically he basically spoke like Ryan was already proven to have cheated and made statements like performance enhancement drugs were the reason for Ryan Garcia's purpose. Without waiting for the B sample, without waiting for anything to be confirmed, they actually just moved on it as if it was fact and it was done deal. And he basically he was already convicted. And so now to see Victor Conte reporting like this, being neutral all of a sudden, is a bit sketchy because, as I pointed out, and we'll get into it, I thought that Ryan Garcia deserved the benefit of the doubt based on the fact that he had numerous tests with VADA and they all came out clean. He was negative up to April 3rd, and the fight was on April 20th. So if he was negative up to April 3rd, it wouldn't make any sense for him to start using performance enhancement drugs on April 3rd, because one, that's when training camp is cooling down. That's when you're going down. And just a number of things. You're not going to get much of a benefit at that point. But people are also noticing that his tone is changing. If you look through the comment section, I'm just trying to look to see. But shout out to my man Beats by Canelo. He went through some of Victor Conte's old tweets, and if you look at Victor Conte's tweet on May 18th, 2012, he wrote, Andre Berto's positive test for nandrolone has absolutely nothing to do with me or any supplements I provided. Likely trace contamination. So this same guy who just went on this smear campaign for Ryan Garcia about testing positive for PED is now saying, when his fighter's the one who tested positive, that it was likely trace amounts of contamination. Well, if you know that that's a possibility, why didn't you give Ryan that benefit of the doubt before you just went on this smear campaign with Ryan, right? So another thing, check this out. He wrote, and this is on that same day, May 18th, 2012, several hundred positive tests for nandrolone. I don't believe they are from using it with the intent to cheat. Always from trace contamination. This is one of the supplements that they're alleging they found in Ryan Garcia's test. The other is Ostarine, which USADA has reported is a very popular thing that they put in dietary supplements, which would be contamination from trace, which would be trace contamination, as he's stating here. So you got to look at the situation like, why would Victor Conte go on a smear campaign about Ryan Garcia knowing about contamination, admitting as far back to May 18th, 2012. So he's known this for years. What's the benefit? What's the benefit of him doing it? And you can't overlook the fact that he works with Devin Haney now. And so is it he's trying to spin the narrative? Is it a coincidence that once Victor Conte spun this narrative that Ryan Garcia was a PED cheat, then Devin Haney went from being radio silent to on ESPN? Like, it feels like 5 minutes after the announcement, Devin Haney was on ESPN talking about, I just knew, I never been in there. He cheated. It's just all calculated. It's just all that for something could potentially be contamination. And this is what I was trying to explain to people on Boxing Bros last week. And then you look in the comment section, oh, I lost all respect for you. First of all, respect yourself. Respect yourself enough to wait until all the evidence comes out, because you may end up looking like a fool in the end. When all is said and done, I don't know if Ryan cheated, but I don't know. That's what I'm saying to you. And I'm not about to accuse him until there's more evidence out there. I also know about contamination. These labs have contamination all the time. These labs are constantly testing numerous people's sample. They're putting it in the same machine. If you don't clean the machine well, guess what's going to happen? That's why they take 2 samples. If the machine was 100% accurate without any errors, they would only need 1 sample. That's why they take 2. That's why they test multiple times. So this guy went from a smear campaign against Ryan Garcia to now being neutral and trying to act neutral. Which, by the way, Ryan, if you see this video, I wouldn't want Victor Conte anywhere near the B sample. You want chain of custody. You want to know who had possession of the B sample, where it was stored, everyone who touched it, and then you want to check their ties to VADA and Victor Conte as well. So he put out that smear campaign, but he wasn't the only one. There was some very popular new media influencers who jumped on it and accused Ryan. I know one was Greg Doucette. I haven't checked to see if he kind of recanted, but another was True Jordy. And True Jordy came out and made a video about Ryan taking PEDs. And then True Jordy kind of recanted in this video right here. You can see it. It says McGregor versus Garcia beef plus Canelo fight reaction. In this video, you can check it out. He actually retracts and says that he doesn't think that Ryan Garcia took PEDs. Whereas before, once the information broke, the smear campaign with Victor Conte, he did think that Ryan Garcia took PEDs. But once he had more information, like Ryan Garcia tested clean from February through April, and it wasn't until the last 2 weeks and then the test before the fight that they said they found this stuff, he called BS on it too. But it's not just him. So if you know about, if you follow these things, Gregory Doucette, for example, is a former competitive bodybuilder who has a channel where he does natty or nots, and his whole thing is about whether someone is taking performance enhancers to have their physique, and so does More Plates, More Dates. This is Derek from More Plates, More Dates. As you can see, he has 1.97 million subscribers, and that's what he does as well. So he does the natty or nots. He breaks down supplements people are taking. He's a former PED. Well, he's still on PEDs. The thing that makes me laugh about these guys like Derek and Gregory Doucette, They abused PEDs, and now they just take TRT, and they act like that makes them natural. Like, oh, all I do is a little bit of TRT. That's still performance enhancing. It still gives you the advantage over the average man who takes nothing. But yeah, anyways, like they act like, I'm only on TRT. I'm only on, like, you're on a PED. You're on something that makes you able to perform better than the average man. So like, stop it. But anyways, Derek from More Plates, More Dates, he breaks this down. And this guy would be considered an expert in his field because he's dabbled in and experimented in, and he's done everything with this. So I would recommend you take a look at his video where he talks about Ryan Garcia took PEDs, his analysis, because he breaks it down thoroughly from someone who has an understanding of how PED users think, their mindset, what they do to beat tests. And even he concluded that Ryan Garcia did not cheat. And if it was in his system, it was unintentional, or the test results came from contamination. So you have people who have no interest in the outcome. Unlike Victor Conte, who works with Devin Haney, who endorses Devin Haney, who also works with VADA, saying that they think it's sketchy, the test and the timing of where they're alleging he took these supplements. You have to know what these supplements do. You have to know how long it takes for these supplements to actually work and give you a benefit. And it's almost like, what would be the point in him taking the supplements at the time they're alleging he would have had to have taken it, which would have had to be the window between April 3rd, 2024 and April 19th, 2024. That window, it would be stupid for him to take the supplements that they're alleging that he took. Would be pointless, and also would just be flat out dumb. Victor Conte understands contamination. He understands that these things happen. At least he understood when his fighter Andre Berto tested positive for a supplement that they're now alleging that Ryan tested positive for, and he said it happens hundreds of times. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, hundreds of times. USADA said for Ostarine, the other supplement, it happens all the time. So again, before you pass judgment, sit back and wait. You're the ones talking trash. And this is what gets me. Whenever you say something, people are like, oh, you're biased. Oh, you're this. They never think that maybe they're the one with the bias. Maybe you like Devin Haney so much that you just don't want to see the fact that he's not who you thought he was. Maybe you dislike Ryan Garcia so much, you just want to believe any negative thing about him. Maybe this is about something it shouldn't be, and it's not about boxing to you. Maybe it's about this versus that to you. And so you have that type of bias. For me, I couldn't care less. I'm only talking about the fight and the results after the fight. See, I don't care about Bill Haney, Devin Haney, or Ryan Garcia. My first channels that I made, I showed you all, got deleted because I made a video about Henry Garcia's comments when he said to Bill Haney, "You're nappy head mother effer." And when people were like, "Oh, well, he talked about him wearing a toupee," I explained how it wasn't the same. I explained how it wasn't the same because you have young black athletes like wrestlers in high school who are forced to cut their dreads. You have young black women who can't show up to school with certain hairstyles because their school will say it's against the school policy, which led to the Crown Act, so that black people can just wear their natural hair. I pointed that out, and I wasn't pointing that out to demonize Henry Garcia, but just to say, like, that's why his statement struck a chord with Devin the way that it did. And people still reported my video and try to make it seem like, and so I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on the side of just being reasonable, innocent until proven guilty. Simple. Okay, you said he tested positive. Okay, you said all of this. So let's test the B sample. Let's wait for some clarity. And if the final report comes back that he tested positive for all these things, and that there's absolutely no doubt that he intentionally took these things, and that there was enough in his system to increase his performance on the night, well, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to be screaming, no contest, no contest. It should be. He wasn't fighting someone who would be of normal strength or whatever. He was fighting someone who was enhanced. Then I would be screaming suspension, because you intentionally took all this stuff knowing that you were going to fight someone and that you can seriously hurt them. But those are serious allegations. So let's wait to see. You see, Victor Conte's not talking that talk anymore. Now he's neutral. Should have been neutral from the beginning. And then if it came back that Ryan intentionally took all those things, then he could have went off the way he went off with the smear campaign. But see, there's agendas here. I don't have one. I don't have one. As I know it, I saw Ryan Garcia beat the dog snot out of Devin Haney. This company, VADA, told me he tested positive. I don't work the samples. I don't know. Ryan said he didn't. It's up to them to do this investigation. And once the results are released to the public, and once I have more information, then I'll give my final thought and opinion on it. But as it stands right now, I don't know enough. And clearly, Victor Conte didn't know enough either, because if he did, they wouldn't be talking about, oh, we got to wait 4 to 6 weeks for a final determination. So again, all you who were talking and all you talking like, oh, we're picking this, oh, picking this side, check yourself. Comment, like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.